All right, good evening, everyone. It is as close to 6:15 as possible. Today is May 31st, and we're going to convene a special meeting of the Brattleboro Selectboard. Patrick, has this meeting been properly warned?
It has.
Excellent, thank you. So we'll just begin with chair remarks, and I do not have any remarks at this time. And we'll move to board remarks.
I do not.
Nope. No. Okay, and then we'll move to public participation. So I'll start with the room here first. So this is an opportunity to speak on something that's not on the agenda tonight. So if I'm not sure if I was approaching the mic. No. Okay. Is there anyone with a hand up? Yep, I see Bob Ozer. So Bob, if you want to come on up.
Okay, I think I'm here.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, very good. It's wonderful when technology works. So I have something I was going to ask that anyone listening to this might have some knowledge in this area can help me with. When the select board votes to enter into executive session, it's been my understanding that the minutes only state, for example, that the motion carried whatever the vote was to enter executive session to discuss, for example, contracts. The law, Title I, VSA 313, has a specific requirement for the public body to make a, quote, specific finding that premature general public knowledge would clearly place the public body or a person involved at a substantial disadvantage if this matter were discussed in open meeting. And I would think that a finding is not simply repeating the wording of the statute, but a result of an inquiry into the facts of a situation. In the EMS ambulance contracts matter, such a finding, I believe, could not have been made because the contract was already public knowledge. There was, in fact, an informational meeting prior to the select board meeting. The law, 314 of Title I, also provides that when written notice of a violation is served on a public body, a cure can be requested. And I would submit that a really appropriate cure in this case would be a do-over of the decisions made by the board on the contracts involving EMS and ambulance services and any actions flowing from those decisions. So anybody who their curiosity is piqued by this, please reach out to me so we can further discuss it. And thank you for your time.
All right, Bob, thank you very much for your comment. Anybody else in Zoom? Nope. Yes, please. And I should have enforced it with Bob, and I didn't. And I apologize. If you can just state your name and where you're from.
My name is Dale Joy. I'm from Brattleboro. And this is about inspecting buildings. I went through it not too long ago with Lenny and his assistant. I had went in and inspected a place, mold, ceiling to floor. This was after they'd already come in and inspected and let the person stay in that dump, okay? Now I found another one that needs some serious help. I go in and out of these buildings all the time, so I know what they're like. Now, how are they going to run their rescue, do the proper inspections of these rental apartments? Because so far, what I'm seeing, they aren't doing them, and they're hurrying through things, okay? I do not think that this is the time to take on all these things. If they did their inspections every 3 years in earnest, we wouldn't have so many of these buildings with mold and ungodly stuff growing all over them, okay? If they followed the state regs for inspection, they would have to slow down a little bit to do a good inspection. And I'm sorry, Lenny, and I'm sorry, but what I'm seeing now is terrible. And there's one landlord in this town that shouldn't even be a landlord. And I don't know why he is. They should have cited him right out of the business. But the town is not going to cite him. But what's going to happen is people are going to start suing the town because they're not getting the proper inspections they need. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much for your comment. And yeah, no, we appreciate hearing that perspective. And I think it's an important thing to be considering when we're looking at expanding what the Brattleboro Fire may be responsible for at a future date. So I think that's something the board should be really considering. Other public comment?
There's two more.
Oh, online. Okay, sorry. I'm going to go to Zoom next.
Got someone named Grant.
Okay, Grant. Hopefully, real person. Yes. We don't have your audio yet. No, but we have you unmuted, so I'm not sure.
Looks like Kurt. Kurt? Well, Kurt's the next person.
Oh, Kurt's. Okay.
Maybe he could use Kurt's.
Okay, Kurt, we're gonna move to you and let's see if your audio is working. And if that's the case, it looks like you and Grant are in the same place and we can have him utilize your computer.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to remind the board, especially, well, Mr. Manale is not present, but I believe the town has an obligation to publicize the decision of the RTM from 2018, resolving that people in town should all be using renewable source electricity per cow power program of Green Mountain Power, or some other way to get renewable source electricity. That's the easiest and quickest way. And that was resolved by RTM in 2018. And since it is a major policy recommendation and comes from representative town meeting, it should be publicized on the town website. So I'm requesting that Mr. Manale should do that. And it's important to notice, you know, there was a rather dismal showing by the steering committee of representative town meeting. And it was rather, you know, rather disappointing that the only proposal they had for the year of work was about funding lunches. But RTM does do and should be encouraged to do more significant things, like this resolution about the town's municipal buildings being on renewable source electricity. That's an important decision. And the recommendation for people in general to do it was also significant. It should not be overlooked, but put on the town website and widely published. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Are we gonna try, do you want to pull, I'm sorry, is it Greg?
Grant.
Oh, Grant. Actually, no, I think you're right. We'll go to someone in the public now here first, and then we'll see if Grant can jump on afterward. So,
Ron Cargill's my name.
hi,
I
Ron.
had a little trouble with my voice. I had vocal cord cancer a couple of months ago, so it's a little raspy. So
Okay.
I have two things I'd like to bring up.
Yep.
First thing I want to bring out, I have a question for you. Do they have ordinances on panhandling and loitering?
As to a specific question like that, I'm in kind of an odd situation where in the public comment section, we really can't respond very substantively to the questions because they're not properly warned items. As for something like that, where it's just like a point of information, I don't have that off the top of my head, but what we can do is provide that to you, within the.
What I was going to bring up is if they don't have any ordinance on the books, it might be a good idea to bring up something with some streamlining to it. The other issue I'd like to bring up is something I heard at the meeting this morning over the American Legion. We were talking about the town manager leaving. And we were talking about the costs of researching for a new town manager. And most of us concurred over there. Why not take the interim town manager and give him the opportunity of being the permanent town manager? So that's just what
Okay. Thank you. And I will ensure that we. Yeah, that we get an answer to you on the specifics of what panhandling ordinances are or are not on the books currently. Okay, back to. Okay,
Grant.
great. Grant, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, my name is Grant Baker, and I'm with BCS, and I just wanted to bring up the climate change issue, and how I think it should really be at the top of everybody's agenda. I don't have a proposal or anything about anything at the moment. I just know that that climate change is getting out of control, and I think that it's going to start somewhere. So here's a place to start, and that's really all I have right now.
Okay, Grant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the comment. Any further public from Zoom? Nope. It looks like nobody else from the public here would like to speak. So in that case, we're going to move on to new business agenda item A. So I'm just going to start with just a quick statement that's kind of about both agenda items. So we're here to ratify two prior decisions made by the Brattleboro Selectboard. And I want to first just reiterate the board's gratitude for Mr. Manali's service to the town, and that we wish Mr. Manali the best in all of his future endeavors. And then further, I just want to say that the board has been advised by council to rely on our prior public statements and our public vote tonight on these two agenda items, and to refrain from making further comments on this employment issue at this time. So with that, the first agenda item is the acceptance of Mr. Manali's May 18th, 2022 resignation letter. Do we have any discussion from the select board?
No.
Seeing none. Any public comment?
I think he did great for what he did so far.
I'll just have you stand up if you want to make a public comment and state your name and.
It's Dale Joy.
Thank you.
And he did what he did a thorough investigation through all the paperwork he had to go through to even start. I feel for him, but I think he did really good. He went out and met the people. Like when Peter came to town, he was downtown meeting everybody, getting to know what the town needs by just talking with people. And then he had all that piles and piles of work that he had to go through with the police. And then he didn't even have a chance. That's what I feel.
Okay, thank you for your comment. And I apologize for interrupting. I just want to maintain the integrity of the record for our note taker so that they just know who's speaking when. So thank you for the comment. Yep, we've got a hand.
Which you are to.
Yes. Witchy, if you can just state your name and where you're from.
Sure. My name is Witchy Hertu, pronounce he, him, his. I live in Athens, Vermont, but I'm also a candidate for the Windham County State Senate. I have a clarifying question, and I'm wondering, given that Yoshi has been treated kind of poorly from the public, including, pieces being sent to them, and no matter, regardless of how people feel about a person, that's sort of like unacceptable behavior. Has there been any official statement from the select board or the town discouraging such actions?
I think it's a good question. Obviously, the board condemns those actions utterly and entirely. But a public statement is certainly something that I think the board could consider making, and that the absence of one at this moment is not saying that we wouldn't consider making one in the future.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, and I think especially for those of us who hold office, whether elected or appointed or hired, yeah, I think it is important that we stand in solidarity, that we're all trying our best. So I think that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Witchy, for that. All right. Yes.
Ron Cargill again. I just want to make sure for the record.
Yeah, absolutely. No, appreciate it. Thank you.
I grew up in Portland, Maine, and I moved here recently about 3 years ago. And some of the issues that people have a problem with, we found in Portland, was people move up from Boston and want to change everything all at once. And they didn't have time to just settle in and progress, get to know the town and stuff. We have an excellent example of that is our new chief. She's excellent. We've met with her several. She's very community oriented, and over the Legion, we love her. She's doing a great job with it. And I think, perhaps the two newbies should have worked together a little bit and gotten ease in a little bit. Because what I heard, that he came from Trenton, which is a large city. I mean, what's it, about 100,000 people in Trenton, if not more. And he was not so much in a fishbowl. And I think getting used to being, and this is just for the future, if you get someone from a big area like that, again, have them ease their way in, just get to, I mean, if you're a soldier, you don't go right into combat right away. You ease your way, you get trained, you get to know your group you're with and stuff like that. And that's basically what it seems to me what happened with this thing. Things too quick, too change, too fast. Small town, that's the way it is.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Seeing no other hands up, I would entertain a motion. Yeah.
I move to accept the town manager's resignation as written.
Yes, thank you very much, Liz. I'm going to make a friendly amendment and say we're going to accept the resignation letter of Mr. Manali with a corrected, the date on the letter is May 18th, 2021, which is obviously a typo that we all understand that. So that we we accept the resignation letter of May 18th, 2022 of Mr. Manali. Excellent, thank you. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the motion carries 5-0. So we move on to the severance agreement. This is a ratification of my and Mr. Manali's execution of the severance agreement. And I understand that the board has reviewed this thoroughly. So we'll start with any discussion from the board.
No comment.
Okay, seeing none, I'll look to the public. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Sure. I move to ratify the severance agreement between the town of Brattleboro and town manager Manala.
Great. Daniel has made a motion to ratify the severance agreement between the town of Brattleboro and town manager Manali. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that carries 5-0. All right, thank you very much. All right, at this time, I'm going to move to enter into executive session to discuss contracts, labor relations, agreements with employees, the appointment or employment or evaluation of public officer or employee, where the board has determined that a premature general public knowledge would clearly place a select board or people involved at a substantial disadvantage. Invited into the executive session are the assistant town manager, the town attorney, the Brattleboro fire chief and assistant fire chief, and HR?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay, that's it. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0, and we will reconvene when the executive session is over and not make any action. So at that point, we will move into executive session. Thank you very much.